We have an amazing community, thank God. And one of the issues that is of great concern to everybody, and so many people actually have approached me, is the issue of making sure that our children are protected, that we don't have situations that endanger the most precious thing that we have, the most precious commodity, our children. And some of the things that we see going on in the streets very often, and people maybe don't realize, situations where people are pushing baby carriages, and the baby carriage is actually in the street, while sometimes the mother she's on the sidewalk, busy on her phone, texting, and cars, the light changes to green, and there's a whole commotion. People have to be very, very, very careful. When they are with their children, people have to be very, very careful in terms of always being with their children, with the baby carriage, because there are people out there who, you know, sometimes are dangerous, and we have to do everything in the world to make sure that when we push our baby carriages, that we are protecting our children. And sometimes, you know, it's very interesting. I could walk on 13th Avenue, and someone is pushing the baby carriage, and they're literally texting as they push the baby carriage, and there are people walking, and people just have to be aware and be careful. And that's why we're here, and I know that Yanky, we see this going on all the time, and people have to be aware. I don't know if it's people just not thinking or what.
It's even more than you said. Even without the texting, what they do usually is they push out the carriage onto the gutter, and then they look if they can cross. The baby's out there in front, cars can come. You're on the sidewalk, the baby's out on the gutter. Exactly. It's amazing. Even more, they're standing on the corner, let's say on 13th Avenue and 48th Street. A car can turn onto 13th Avenue. You're pushing out the carriage. The car sees you standing. He might not see the carriage. He sees you standing. You without a, and he turns right into the baby. This is you can see this every day. This is amazing responsibility from a person to have the baby out on the gutter, and you're still on the sidewalk, and not knowing if you can cross. You're looking then if you can cross or not.
Well, I think the idea is to keep the baby carriage on the sidewalk until you are ready to cross with the baby carriage.
That's correct.
And I think, I'm not sure what it is, you know, it's common sense, but I think sometimes people are preoccupied and they don't realize. And God forbid we should have a tragedy. God forbid we should have something happen and we all say, why didn't we say something? Why didn't we do anything? Your own experiences?
My own experience was the same thing. I was on 13th Avenue. I was turning onto 50th Street, and the light was saying don't walk, and this woman was running across and pushing her carriage forward, and I was turning and I had to make a short stop, and I started telling the lady, you could run out of the way, but you are just pushing your the baby right into my car, and she's gonna get hurt. You gotta watch out. And my wife was sitting near me, and she was saying, this is ridiculous how these women are just pushing these carriages.
It's interesting. I was at a community board meeting only a day ago, and a number of different people, just by chance, came over to me and said, you've got to do something about this. You've got to address this. This is so dangerous. So we're here. These are the leaders of the Shomrim. They protect our community. They are out there day and night to protect our community, and we want to make sure that people are aware, that, you know, you got to think, you know, when you have a baby carriage and that baby carriage is in the street, and I see this so often. I see it almost every day, in fact. So please, we want to say to everybody, we have a beautiful community, please be careful.
Definitely corner, and definitely not going between cars. Especially in the middle of the street, walking out, pushing the carriage out, and then looking both sides. Oh,
while the carriage is ahead of you. Right? I mean,
because the driver of the car sometimes doesn't see the carriage. It's a stroller, not even a stroller.
Down, right?
Sometimes don't see the person doesn't see the person, and the carriage is out there on the gutter. So
they don't realize if the sun is beating on them and they put the sun visors down, they're not looking too well.
Right.
And if they push that carriage out, God forbid, the kid is going to get hurt.
So we want to say to everybody, we want everybody to have a wonderful summer, but as I say, also a safe summer. Thank you.